So going through it, right, the one as effect whose fictive being is maintained solely by the structural retroaction in which it is considered, right? So the one effect is sort of a consequence of the axioms such that we retroactively believe that there was a process that took place, right? It's a retroactive fictive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would be like a constitutional mythology.
Yeah. Or perhaps, I think more rigorously accurate would be, it would be a Lacanian symptom, right?
Okay.
When did you have a traumatic,
Well,
for those of you who don't know, the Lacanian symptom goes something like this. When did you have a traumatic childhood, right? Did you actually have a traumatic childhood while it was happening? No. Retroactively, you had a traumatic childhood when you're no longer able to integrate into adult society, right? So it's retroactive, or to use the Lacanian term, it's après coup. When did we have this original void set? Only retroactively when we have the power set of it. But again, this is the total indifference of the sets, right? This is not a bigger, well, it's only in a metaphorical sense that it's bigger, right? There's a complete indifference among the sets. There's a complete lack of hierarchy among the sets. As such, we have one set, we have another set. Does that make sense? Event? It's awful.
Yeah. No points will be awarded.
No points will be awarded.
You may get the null set.
Okay, so let's go with the unicity. So again, it's not a being. There is no being that is unique. Rather, it's just a property that occurs in sets, and it's basically just a way of saying that there is no other set that includes all these elements, right? That is not the same set. And then finally, it's always possible to count as one an already counted one multiple. That is to apply the count to the one result of the count. This amounts, in fact, to submitting to the law in turn the names that it produces as the seal of the one in the presented multiple. So basically, what do we have to count as one? We have the power set that guarantees the consistency of the original set. Well, here's the thing. To what can we apply the power set to, or what can we apply to this power set in order to ensure the consistency of this set, just as this set ensures the consistency of this set?
The set of the power set.
That, well, the set.
Well, the set of what I was going to be, not necessarily below that, right, because there's no hierarchy, but right, there's a set of something.
Right. Formally put, we can also apply a power set
to the power set.
to the power set.
Okay.
And what do we get?
More voids.
An extra set of brackets.
An extra set of brackets, right, this, and then the set of this. And so what we have is, again, this is the metastructure. We have the structure of the multiple, but then we also have metastructure. And in principle, you can continually take metastructures, right, in a universal, unending, infinite process. And in fact, this is how you get the set of all whole numbers, right? Is you just keep taking this, you assign a degree. This is not necessarily related, we'll get to it later, but I mean, this is the point, is you can continue to take power sense in infinitum. But the problem is,
Nobody wants to call them meta sets.
yeah, well, that's also a problem. But also we're in ontology. Actually, you know, I'll get to this one, Badiou gets to this. But yeah, so in any case, we also get the possibility of the totality of being here, right? And we get that through the axiom of replacement. As Badiou says on page 91, let's see. Note that the existence of a void set, the forming into one of the void, is guaranteed via the power set axiom applied to the name of the void, which again we've covered ad nauseum. Then the operation of forming into the void is uniformly applicable to any multiple already supposed existent, i.e., you know, you can take the power set of any set. It is here that the value of the axiom of replacement becomes evident. See meditation 5. In substance, this axiom states that if a multiple exists, there also exists the multiple obtained by replacing each of the elements of the first by other existing multiples. Consequently, in the set of the void which exists, I replace void by the supposed existent set delta, I get the set of delta. That is a set whose unique element is delta. This set exists because the axiom of replacement guarantees the permanence of the existence of one multiple for any term by term substitution to what belongs to it. So, what does this mean? It means now we're not going to do so ontologically, but in principle we can get out from under the void, right? Because for delta, what we have, actually, let me just put this up here. So we have set of the void, and then what do we do?
Take the power set of that.
Not in this case.
So you're talking about replacing with a gamma?
Yeah, a delta.
Delta.
So,
Okay.
well, or we could replace it with a gamma, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is the point,
Yeah,
right?
This is just a brief show.
Sorry, my delta is pretty awful there.
But the braces are getting pretty good.
Yeah, the braces are getting pretty good. It's what continual work on them all. Okay, so what does this delta mean? Is this delta something? No, it's just a formula, right? Just like the formula for all A, right? We have A, included in C. So in principle, I can replace this delta with anything,
Including nothing.
including the void, or including the power set of the void.
Okay.
Right? We'll just do PA. Right? And so what this does is this opens, right? Essentially what Badiou has done is cleverly maneuvered through the axioms, right? To the point where in principle we can talk about anything. Right? We're still in ontology, so we're going to continue to talk about the true name of being, which is the void. Right? But now any void set could be put in there. Any power set of the void sets could be in there. Right? What we have is the possibility of the totality of all possible sets that can replace it, but not necessarily that exist as consistent. Does that make sense? Okay. So what does Badiou do with this? Well, if there's a set of delta, right, we have a unique element, and so by having a set of delta, we have a delta, which means we can also take the power set of delta. So, again, for any delta, you can take, what are we taking of it?
Power set of delta.
That's exactly right. Power set of delta. And so what we have is for, again, anything can be replaced in delta. For any set, it implies through, what implies this? What axiom?
Power set.
Axiom of the power set, what it implies is there's also the set of delta, right? So, what is this? What does Badiou call this little formulation right here?
Singleton.
That's exactly right. This is the singleton. This is the basis for the difficulties of excess, right? So what we have is through the singleton, let me see, we have that the infinite multiplicity of complex names is formed out of the void and through the inferential rules, right? So the void is given as existent because of the axiom of the void, but then through all of the other axioms, we can draw an infinite complex of names. Does that make sense? Through the power set, through the singleton, which again is just the power set applied. Okay, any questions on that? Any points anyone wants to bring up? Okay, then we're going to move on to the next one, which is meditation 8, the state or metastructure and the topology of being, i.e. Normality, singularity, and excrescence.
Should we take maybe a 5-minute break?
Sure.